Welcome to TWT Talks with Tito. This is Tito Madrano, back for another episode, back in your life. So today we're going to talk about UFC, post-UFC 313. I did say that I was going to talk about AEW Revolution. Unfortunately, I was not able to watch the full event. For some reason, my laptop was not coexisting with the site, and unfortunate, I wasn't able to watch it. I do apologize to the pro wrestling fans that were expecting me to talk about AEW Revolution, post AEW Revolution, but I didn't watch the event. I might watch it maybe once I have free time and just talk a little bit about it in the next episode. If anything, I can't promise you that I will talk about it, but if anything, if I did watch the full show, I will talk a little bit of it, some glimpse of it, not too much. But yeah, again, I do apologize to all those pro wrestling fans that keep up with the podcast that were expecting me to talk about AEW Revolution. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the full show, and my laptop was just not coexisting with the event for some reason. Yeah. With that being said, let's talk about UFC 313. We had the main event, Alex Pereira defending the UFC light heavyweight title against Magomed Ankalaev. Co-main event, we have Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. But before we talk about those two fights, I do want to talk about the main card a little bit. About Mauricio Riffi finished veteran Bobby Green in the first round with spinning leg kick. That fight, that's a good win for Mauricio Riffi, especially making a statement over someone like Bobby Green, who's been there, done that, a veteran of this sport. What's next for Mauricio Riffi? Give him a top 15. If you made a statement over a veteran like Bobby Green, give him a top 15. As far for Bobby Green, I've been paying close attention to Bobby's fights lately. He is not winning. He's going on a losing streak, but it's not just the fact that he's losing, he's getting finished. We talked about the whole Jalen Turner, that bad stoppage. He got submitted by Patty the Batty Pimlin, and then this loss. I personally think Bobby Green should retire. I don't think he should fight anymore. I don't think he has nothing else to prove. If anything, I feel like the sport of MMA has given him more than he ever thought would give him back. And he has given the sport of MMA so much good fights over the years, fighting for like King of the Cage, Strikeforce, and the UFC. Obviously Bobby Green is beloved by fans. San Bernardino native, fighting in the Inland Empire, and training in Fontana. I think Bobby Green should just retire. There's nothing else for him to prove at this point of his career. And it's just like, why put yourself in a situation where, you're having these up-and-coming fighters make a name out of themselves by beating you? I think Bobby should just retire, and yeah, I think he'll be okay too. If anything, Bobby is always going to be involved with the sport, regardless if he's a fighter or not. Moving on to the next fight. Amanda Lemos beat Islan Lisiando by decision. That was part of the main card too. Also, Jalen Turner, which I talked about early, faced Ignacio Bahamondos. Ignacio Bahamondos, Chilean fighter, trains with Bilal Mohamed and Yarid Rodriguez here in the suburbs of Chicago. This kid is good. Submitted Jalen Turner in the first round. I think he made a statement in that fight. Again, give that guy the top 15 guys too. Mauricio Ruffi and Ignacio Bahamondos. Both of those guys are up-and-comers. Give them top guys now. I think this is the UFC. I think both of these guys are ready for that top competition. Why not? All right, let's move on to the co-main event. This is in the lightweight division. Former BMF champion, former UFC interim lightweight champion, the highlight, Justin Gaethje versus dangerous and always ready to fight Rafael Fiziev. And he took this fight in 11 notice. This was a rematch from their last fight. The last time they fought, Gaethje won by decision. He lost to Gaethje by decision. This fight started off, and I kind of talked about this while I was watching the fight with a group of friends. Justin Gaethje was not going in for the kill right away. He was being very smart with his strikes. He was being very persist with his strikes. He was not trying to like get, involved in an exchange. So, him taking that time off, we haven't seen Gaethje since UFC 300. We know he lost to Max Holloway. This was a fight for him where he was going to come out and see where he was at. Rafael Fiziev is a good opponent. He was originally going to fight Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker got injured, so that fight did not happen. So the first round, I feel like Fiziev won that first round. And then after that, Justin Gaethje picked it up in the second and third, dropped Fiziev in the second, and, dominated him in the third. And yeah, Justin Gaethje wins this fight by decision. And if you think about it, not a lot of guys can say they lost to Justin Gaethje by decision. Rafael Fiziev lost to him twice by decision. What's next for good? Justin Gaethje, there's talks about him getting the title shot. I don't think he deserves a title shot. I'm sorry, I don't think he does. I think if anything, he should fight Arman Sarukian or fight Charles Oliveira. But I feel like Charles Oliveira is going to get the title shot unless Ilia Topuria has something to unless Ilia Topuria gets the automatic title shot without fighting any contenders, then damn. But I feel like Justin Gaethje should fight Arman Sarukian or should fight Charles Oliveira. Personally, I want to see him fight Arman Sarukian. I don't think he's going to fight Dustin Poirier because, Dustin Poirier, if anything, they already have a fight set up for him. I don't think Gaethje is the guy. But, yeah, I want to see Gaethje versus Arman Sarukian. Obviously, we have Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. And that's going to be another interesting fight as well. And let's talk a little bit about UFC 314 real quick. Ilia Topuria is no longer the UFC featherweight champion. He's going up weight. We're going to have Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez for the vacate belt. Also, we're going to have Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull, former Bellator champion, former two-division Bellator champion, joining the UFC. So those are good featherweight fights that are coming up. I can't wait for that. And yeah, so that is the co-main event. Justin Gaethje wins. I say Gaethje versus Arman Sarukian. Who should Rafael face next? I think Rafael should probably rest and then get ready for a full training camp. I don't think he should jump. He's a fighter. A fighter is going to take a fight regardless. But, I feel like Rafael Fiziev, props to him, respects to him to take this fight. We know after coming a torn ACL surgery, it's not easy to adjust to fighting again. But the guy is ready, always ready. But I think he should have a full training camp before he fights someone else. That's just my take on that. All right, moving on to the next fight, the last fight, the main event. This was for the UFC lightweight champion, Alex Boatan Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. This was 5 rounds. Pereira was trying to defend the belt for the 4th time versus number 1 contender, and rightfully so, Magomed Ankalaev. So the first round, it started off Pereira throwing pressure with the calf kicks. We saw that he was just throwing them, and then Ankalaev didn't have any answer for them. So Ankalaev was just trying to stand and trade punches with him. Second round, we saw Ankalaev putting the pressure more on Pereira. We saw the pressure going into Pereira's way. I feel like Pereira was kind of like hesitating a little bit to exchange. He was staying on the stand-up range, but I feel like Pereira wasn't going for the kill right away because Pereira is a patient killer. He's gonna, whenever he smells blood, he's gonna go for it. But Ankalaev is also a patient killer too. So this fight, what made this fight intriguing to me. Ankalaev was just, picking him apart from the outside, and I'm really shocked at how Ankalaev stand and trade with Pereira. A lot of people didn't give Ankalaev a shot standing up, and that's what people don't understand. Ankalaev is not your typical Sambo fighter. He's willing to go there and stay and trade with you. And he almost put out Pereira in the second round. Pereira got saved by the bell. Going into the third round, which I personally, and I have to see this fight again, I personally think this was probably the hardest round to judge. Pereira and Ankalaev, they were pretty even. Both guys were exchanging. Ankalaev, I did notice when he was feeling the calf kicks, he was going for the takedowns. Pereira did a great job in his training camp to avoid the takedowns. We saw on his Instagram how he was training with Glover Teixeira on the snow. You know, they live in Connecticut. They were training on the snow for takedowns. Pereira brought a lot of, he brought a lot of guys that are certified in that department too. So Pereira did his homework as far as it goes with the takedown defense and the Zombie defense and everything. Because Ankalaev had no chance of taking him down. He tried, and, Pereira reversed it and dropped him. Going into the fourth round, I think going to the fourth round, Ankalaev started turning it up. He knows that he probably lost that round. Again, that third round was very iffy. It was very tough to judge. So going into that fourth round, Ankalaev was just looking to try to finish his fight, but again, he's realizing that he's not fighting any striker. He's fighting a world-class kickboxer. And Ankalaev was, again, trying to look for the takedowns, and he couldn't take him down. He was trying to look for the takedowns, couldn't take him down. Going into the fifth round, I think Alex Pereira turned it up. He started looking for the range. He started landing that left hook, which we know he finished so many people with that left hook. He found openings with that head kick. And Ankalaev was just retreating. He was retreating to get that takedown. And again, denied. And Pereira, this fight goes to decision. And two judges scored 48-47. Another judge scores at 49-46. I'm like, what are you watching? Like, what are you watching? Seriously. 49-46, Ankalaev. You thought Ankalaev won 4 rounds? Here's what I think happened. And again, I have to see this fight again because it was very tough to judge. I didn't want to be a judge in this fight. I feel like maybe Ankalaev slightly won the third round. Because I thought Ankalaev did win. But then again, I think Pereira did enough in that third round to probably take that round too. But with that being said, how are you going to judge the fight 49-46? That judge had 4 rounds for Ankalaev and 1 for Pereira. Like, what are you watching? This is where I say these judges, or some judges, need to be drug tested. Like, what the hell are you watching? Seriously. Like, I can do a better job than that judge. I can put me as a judge. I'll do a better job than him. Seriously, what are you watching? And I don't know, this is... So yeah, Ankalaev wins the fight by unanimous decision. He is the new UFC light heavyweight champion. Becomes the 3rd fighter from Dagestan, Russia to become UFC champion. First it was Khabib, currently is Islam, and now is him. Alex Pereira... I feel like he will make the adjustments in the rematch. I think this is going to be an automatic rematch because, think about it. Pereira is the first guy in a long time that has defended the belt. Before John Jones and before Daniel Cormier in the UFC light heavyweight division, there hasn't been any UFC light heavyweight fighters that defended the belt more than 1 time. Alex Pereira has defended the belt 3 times already, and I think he rightfully deserves a rematch. That's just my take on that. There hasn't been anybody besides John Jones and Daniel Cormier that has defended the belt more times than them, but prior to them leaving the division, nobody has defended... Prior to them leaving the division, whoever was champion next, they didn't defend the belt. They only defended the belt at least once. You know what I mean? You think about it, John Polovic, 1 time he defended the belt. Glover Teixeira, he lost it to Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka had to vacate the belt due to injury. And then Jamal Hill beats Glover Teixeira. Then Jamal Hill vacates the belt because due to injury again to the Achilles. And then they did the vacant title between Pereira and Yuri. And we know what Pereira did. He beat Yuri and then defended it 3 more times. But I think he deserves a rematch. And Ankalaev... I think he's gonna make the adjustments because he's gonna realize that it's gonna take more than try to take Pereira down. And Pereira is just gonna have to put the pressure first. I think he's gonna learn from this loss, and he's gonna take notes with his team. And I think he's gonna do the adjustments that has to be needed. Probably put the foot in the gas sooner than later. And yeah, I don't know what happened with Pereira. I want to say that he was probably dealing with an injury because let's not forget, Pereira was injured during when he fought Khalil Roundtree. Was injured when he fought Yuri Prochazka the second time. So I mean, I knew he was injured 2 out of the 3 title defense. So yeah, we don't know. Was he dealing with an injury that he didn't want to talk about? Because Pereira's he's a fighter. He's gonna fight regardless. And yeah, I'm gonna be excited for that rematch. And by the way, I did not want to talk about this, but Pereira's ex-girlfriend over here saying that it was karma that Pereira lost. Girl, like, you got exposed for being a married woman. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you really jumped on the social media outlets just so you can talk about Alex when he loses. Where were you when he was winning? But yeah, since you got exposed by Alex Pereira, now you want to flap your lips about him. Girl, you got exposed. Go to, like Alex Pereira said, you should probably stop talking about me before your husband gets jealous. But yeah, with that being said, guys, next week episode, what am I going to talk about? You're just going to have to tune in. I'm going to try to talk about Revolution. I can't promise anything. But yeah, what do you guys thought about UFC 313, the event? Overall, what did you guys thought of it? Good things are coming up in April, March, too. There's a few things that we're going to talk about more too. But yeah, I'm excited for the next episode. See, I'll surprise you guys what I'm going to talk about, and I'll just leave it like this. Just tune in next week. Yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, we drop episodes every week. And if we don't drop them every week, we drop them regardless. And if you haven't caught up with any of the previous episodes, when you're done with this one, jump on those right away. With that being said, guys, thank you guys so much. This is Tito Medrano. This is TWT Talks with Tito. I'll see you in the next one. You guys take care. Bye.